Whatever.
When the Dragon Emperor Akor awakened, the mighty dragons of old were wreaking havoc not only in Lumbria as we saw last time, but in other parts of Exos as well. Vinity and the Yellowhoods in the outskirts of Rusted Red were no exception. An earthquake ripped throughout the sands as the awakened dragon headed toward the Yellowhood village. Seeing the terrifying dragon and immediately understanding they stood no chance, Yellowhood's leader Vinity tells his deputy Bongkoos to take the tribe and escape while he buys them time. Bongkoos tells Vinity as criminals they have nowhere to run to which Vinity tells Bongkoos to go to the Wasted Red and explain the situation that he is sure that the Wasted Red will take them in under the dire circumstances. Bongkoos, with all his temper, refuses to leave Vinity and fires a shot at the dragon, doing no damage at all and just irritating it to attack the village even faster. Vinity aims masterfully at the dragon's eye, temporarily disabling it, and tells Bongkoos to hurry and take everyone to Wasted Red and away from the dragon. Vinity says he will not run anymore, and so Bongkoos reluctantly gathers the Yellowhoods and runs, while Vinity stays behind to buy them time to escape. At that same moment, Honuk, Baraka's younger brother and Prince of Wasted Red, was out patrolling, thinking about his brother Baraka, who had entrusted him to the throne. In the distance, he sees unusual cloud dust and decides to investigate, hoping that nothing was wrong. Unfortunately, Honuk's fears come true as he stumbles across the Yellowhoods fighting off corrupted dragons and undead soldiers. Quickly assessing the situation, Honuk and his soldiers help the Yellowhoods fight off the monsters. Once the monsters are defeated, Honuk questions Bongkoos, asking why the Yellowheads are headed towards Wasted Red. Bongkoos, realizing unlike Baraka he might have a chance to be understood by Honuk, explains truthfully that a dragon has attacked their village. Honuk senses that Bongkoos is telling the truth but has his suspicions and wonders what in the world the Dragon Watchers are doing. Honuk doesn't seem to realize it was actually the Dragon Watchers who were supposed to protect them from the dragons that awakened the core and released the dragons in the first place, as we saw in the last episode. Bongkoos then volunteers to lead Honuk to the dragon, hoping that by doing so, he might have a chance to save Vinity, who had stayed behind to protect them. Unfortunately, Honuk declines Bongkoos' offer and says if what Bongkoos is saying is true, then it would be best for him to go back to Wasted Red, evacuate the city, and make preparations first. Bongkoos then has no choice but to reveal his intention and ask that Honuk go back to help them buy some time to help Vinity escape. Honuk pauses and then states that he will report to his father, gather the squad leaders, and also summon the Dragon Watchers to do their job, stating again the importance of protecting his people and making preparations against the dragon. Bongkoos shouts at Honuk, asking if he is ignoring him because he was deemed a criminal, when in reality the Yellowhoods were only saving people who were abandoned or lost in the desert, especially children that were dying out there in the sun, and claimed that Wasted Red had taken away everything from them, even the blessing of their oasis. Honuk interrupts Bongkoos and tells him that his plan was to have the preparations to fight against the dragons being made, and he himself go with Bongkoos to take a look at the dragon and save Vinity as well. So the entire party splits, Honuk's soldiers leading the majority of the Yellowhoods to Wasted Red to evacuate the city and to make preparations, while Honuk, Bongkoos, and a small team of Yellowhoods head towards Vinity and the dragon. Back in the Yellowhood village, Vinity had been buying time by aiming at the dragon's weak points and carefully avoiding its attacks while it was crippled. Honuk and Bongkoos joined in the fight only to realize that they really stood no chance against this dragon. Vinity at first shies away from Honuk, unable to hide his timid self, but eventually voices his opinion that they should all run, leaving Wasted Red behind. Bongkoos doesn't want to leave, not wanting their home to be destroyed by the dragon. Here, the first path split in the chapter occurs with Honuk's decision to give up Wasted Red and evacuate the civilians, or to fight the dragon to protect Wasted Red. In this episode, we will first take the path of giving up Wasted Red and evacuating the people. Honuk makes the decision to give up on Wasted Red for the sake of saving the lives of his people, stating that a city can be built again. He asks Bongkoos and Vinity to help him make that happen, to buy time for the people of Wasted Red, as well as the Yellowhoods to escape. Honuk dubs them Yellowhood Knights and tells them the Yellowhoods are now his people and that Honuk himself has the responsibility to protect them as well. Forming the alliance, Vinity tells Honuk and Bongkoos how he has been fighting against the dragon so far. He tells them to aim for the dragon's weak spots, like its eyes or inside its mouth, to irritate it and making its movements simpler. The situation is complicated as they cannot defeat the dragon, and to annoy it means that it will follow them, and so they cannot disengage the dragon and thus cannot make an escape to Wasted Red, as the dragon will surely follow them. Honuk comes up with a brilliant idea and tells the party that they will wait for the sandstorm to help them, hoping that the fickle desert will grant their wishes to have the sandstorm come their way fast. Magically, a sandstorm then does arrive, and Vinity is given the chance to prove his worth as the sole pupil of Al Radun by using his training to guide his party to Wasted Red while the dragon is being blinded by the sandstorm. The party seems to have gotten a little break as Vinity leads them into the sandstorm towards Wasted Red. Having relaxed a little under the tense situation, the Yellowhoods teased Bongkoos, prompting Bongkoos to shout, which gave away the location to the dragon through the sound. Being exposed by the sound, Honuk and Vinity decide to try to distract the dragon, while the rest of the party led by Bongkoos continued towards Wasted Red before the sandstorm dies down to warn them. Sure enough, as the winds start to die down, the dragon attempts to attack Honuk and Vinity. Honuk and Vinity try to buy time so they won't lead the dragon back to Wasted Red. Vinity is caught in the attack of the dragon, spraining his foot. Honuk decides to carry Vinity on his back, promising him that as part of his people, Honuk will not abandon Vinity behind. The two of them come up with a plan to aim for the dragon's eyes, temporarily blinding it to buy them time to escape. Honuk is impressed as Vinity makes a bullseye to one of the dragon's eyes. The problem was the other eye, where they needed to distract the dragon to the other side, but they were unable to do so in the situation they were in where Honuk was carrying Vinity and Vinity couldn't move. Just in the nick of time, Bongkoos shows up. Bongkoos had actually heard the cry of the dragon from afar and instructed the rest of the party to go while he went back to help Honuk and Vinity. Bongkoos distracts the dragon and turns his head so Vinity can hit the dragon's second eye, allowing a brief minute for the three to escape from the dragon's radar. Having made the narrow escape, the three make it safely back to Wasted Red to see that the evacuation was happening successfully. Seeing that their plan to save the people was well underway, Honuk makes his way from the Lumbre and hopes to find his brother Baraka, turning his back to the burning city of Wasted Red, darkened under the shadow of the dragon's wings flying over and breathing its fire to its ruin. Stay tuned for the next section of the Exos Heroes lore, and if you like random gaming content, especially on mobile gacha games, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I post every weekend. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe, and take care.